This is a product video for the MirrorEffect Anti-Scratch ASLAN SC75, and here are the details. Film type, metallized PET, thickness 75 microns, adhesive, pressure-sensitive polyacrylate, liner, silicone polyester, warranty 3 to 5 years outdoors, vertical. ASLAN has a dedicated folder for their metallized films that include swatches of both SC75 films. ASLAN also has large sample pieces to show prospective clients the high quality mirror effect as well as the flexibility. There's also a comparison board that clearly shows the quality difference, especially in scratch resistance, between ASLAN and two other brands. For this brand, you see how easily it scratches and the reflectivity is muddled. For this brand, lots of orange peel and a blurry image. And now ASLAN, no scratches and a very sharp image. Flipping the comparison board over, you can see the back of the films, and this one is white, so no added benefit. This brand has even more orange peel and distortion, and now ASLAN, nearly the same clear reflection as the face, so both sides of ASLAN SC75 can be used with confidence. ASLAN SC75 has multi-tier benefits that range from advertising, design, everyday use in homes and offices, and a particularly big one is safety. At first glance, both of these look like standard mirrors, and a metal object is going to be used to test if they are. Here a corner is lightly hit and it snaps off, which obviously lowers quality, but if it's hit even harder, the entire mirror can break, which is obviously a huge hazard. And now we take the other piece, which was plexiglass wrapped with ASLAN SC75, and after multiple hits in various areas, there's no breakage. So with ASLAN SC75, you get the benefits of the mirror effect, but not the risk. So with that, let's get to install and begin with tools. You'll need a microfiber towel, white vinegar, spray bottles, baby shampoo, a tack cloth, wide window squeegees, as well as scrapers for prepping the surface. There are a variety of them. You can have metal, plastic, and sponges, a knife with a safety box, a tape measure, and a variety of different applicators like squeegees, rollers, and very important to have rubber gloves both for during the install and prep. On the outside of the box is important product information, including the lot number, and the box has 3 easy tabs for opening and closing. Keep the plastic liner on until the roll is safely on a dispenser, and prepping the work table is absolutely key. Because ASLAN SC75 is a polyester film, it can create an electrostatic charge, so the surface should be deionized. There are dedicated machines that you can purchase to do this, or white vinegar is also a good solution to do this as well. So thoroughly spray the table, wipe it down with a microfiber towel, and it's not only clean but it's also electrostatic free. Now the final step is to go over it with a tack cloth one more time, then roll the panel out carefully and be sure that it doesn't wrinkle during this process, then cut the excess safely away. The release liner is silicone polyester film and the adhesive pressure-sensitive polyacrylate. Be sure to recycle the liner when possible. Note that the adhesive is clear, which makes both sides highly reflective, and we'll begin on a glass case that has shelves and the backside that will be applied with ASLAN SC75. The first step is to remove any pieces, as this will make the install easier. To prep a panel for ASLAN SC75, the surface should be very smooth and completely free from tiny specks of dirt and fibers. One method is spraying the surface and going over it with a scratchless sponge, or using a metal or plastic scraper and being extra thorough during this process. Spray the surface again and use a large squeegee, not a towel, to remove the moisture and the dirt. Then clean the outside area with a tack cloth to suck up any remaining specks, as well as the panel being applied. For best results, especially for medium to large panels, the wet method is highly recommended. Spray the surface with a soapy solution and lay the panel liner side facing out. Remove the liner carefully so the ASLAN SC75 doesn't wrinkle. Spray the surface with the soapy solution right away, and then remove the rest of the liner in one fluid motion, spraying the surface immediately again with the soapy solution. Carefully flip the panel over, and because it's a polyester film, it's very important that it lays 100% flat on the surface before squeegeeing. Spray the surface of the film so the squeegee can glide, and the film should be double squeegeed onto the surface. For the first step of the application, you can use a squeegee with a felt buffer. Be sure to overlap your squeegee strokes and apply firm pressure. In most cases, using 2 hands is best. Another option to applying the surface for the first time is using a rubber roller. Overlap the squeegee strokes and go from one side to the other, overlapping the strokes. Then, for the second round of squeegeeing, spray the surface one more time and use a rubber squeegee with a handle and work from side to side. This will allow you to apply optimal pressure to really force the moisture out. Before cutting the excess film away, always dry the surface to double check for bubbles, and a good tip is, with a wet install, allow the ASLAN SE75 to dry for at least 5 to 10 minutes before cutting. Always click the blade so it's extra sharp, and if possible, give extra space on the sides to make the cutting process more straightforward, and always angle the blade in towards the edge if it's an empty gap. This will create a beveled flush cut, and then always come back in and shave the edge one more time to make sure it's extra flat on the main surface. This is good for long-term hold. We now move on for tips and tricks for larger panels, in this case the back of the glass cabinet. Making precise measurements is absolutely critical. When possible, try to make the panel fit to size. So on a work table, make precise measurements and cuts. Now for the install, after cleaning and scraping, spray the inside surface with the slip solution and spray an outside area as well. This is the best area to release the liner. Release the liner just to start it, then in a one continuous pull, spray the adhesive as the liner is removed. A good tip is for panels that are close to the floor is cut the material away and leave a little bit of the liner on, so as the panel is flipped over it won't pick up any specks of dirt during this process. Align the panel on the surface, make sure it's even left to right, top to bottom. Then, once set, remove that plastic liner just at the bottom, spray the main surface one more time, and lock it in right in the middle so the panel doesn't shift left to right. Once locked in the middle, squeegee from side to side and apply pressure. Here you can see the moisture being forced out by the squeegee, and once the first step of the squeegeeing process is done, in this case the squeegee with the buffer, now it's time to come back in with the squeegee with the handle. Spray the surface one more time, and now apply firm pressure, and it's always recommended to work from top to bottom. This means the moisture won't get under the top edge, it'll all escape out the bottom. Remove any moisture with an absorbent microfiber towel to check for bubbles, and here's a shot of the final result, both of the back section done and the shelves. So you can see with solid prep and focus, you can get that mirror-like effect in a matter of a few minutes. For smaller sections, the ASLAN SE75 can be applied to dry, in this case on a first aid kit. Remove the piece that the ASLAN SE75 will be applied to, clean it thoroughly, and, tacking it on the workspace table and after lining it, simply squeegee it onto the surface in one continuous stroke, then cut off the excess film right away because it was installed dry. Carefully reinsert the piece back into the first aid kit, and the first aid kit has a mirror safely inside, and because it's not an actual mirror, there's no chance of it breaking. And note that another piece of ASLAN SE75 is being applied to the first aid kit, but this time on the outside. But note that no lamination is required to put on top of the film because of the high scratch resistance of the film. And note that ASLAN SE75 is ideally suited for cutting on plotters. And be sure to note that the vertical height of the letters should not be smaller than 10 millimeters. This is due to the thickness and the metallicized properties of the film. When cutting the film, always make sure you double check the depth of the blade, take it to the work table wrinkle-free, and the weeding process is standard. And note that wearing gloves is absolutely critical to avoid fingerprints getting on the film. Once everything has been weeded, it is highly recommended to apply application tape. In this case, the low-tack tape ASLAN TP 110. Apply it as normal, and before mounting this piece onto the plexiglass, it's highly recommended to spray the liner before it's removed to reduce the electrostatic charge. And once the liner is removed from the plexiglass, slide it into position, and in this case, the ASLAN SE75 will be applied with a laminator. Trim the piece to the shape of the plexiglass, take it to the laminator, slide it in exactly halfway, and lower the roller. Remove the liner, and don't cut it away, simply just tuck it underneath the film. Turn on the laminator, which will then pull the board through. A free hand should hold the material safely away until the last minute. Then once one side is done, flip the panel through the laminator one more time. Note that the liner is being removed as it's being pulled through the roller. Remove the application tape carefully and trim any excess film if needed. And here's a shot of the final result. To apply the plexiglass, simply apply double-sided tape, and note that what you're looking at right now is the adhesive side of the film, so you get a mirror-like effect on both sides. And be sure to note that since this is plexiglass with ASLAN SE75 applied, it is extremely light when compared to an actual mirror. This means it can be mounted safely without screws or anchors, and is extremely safe, while at the same time having that extreme mirror-like effect. And for outdoor applications, be sure that the temperature is above 15 degrees Celsius if installing dry, 20 degrees Celsius if installing wet. Be sure to clean extra thoroughly, make precise measurements, once in the right place, create a hinge, often masking tape is the best choice, carefully release the liner to ensure that all the cutouts stay on the pre-mask, pull it carefully to the window, and, once it's in place, squeegee with firm overlapping squeegee strokes. For dry installs, the pre-mask can be removed right away, and for wet installs, be sure to wait 5 to 10 minutes to allow the adhesive to set up on the surface before pulling the pre-mask. And as mentioned earlier, the warranty is between 3 and 5 years, and this does include outdoor installs with vertical exposures in Central European standard climate conditions. And for maintaining the perfect finish of the ASLAN SE75, the film can be cleaned with a microfiber cloth, and the cleaning agents should be non-abrasive and free of aggressive solvents. For more information, to download the datasheet, request samples, and to contact, you can go to this URL. This has been a product video for ASLAN's MirrorEffect AntiScratch SE75, proudly produced by the RAP Institute.